mutant fly-looking aliens that rape women, a doctor and a cop team-up that leads to a love connection, and more virgins than an ISIS terrorist can shake his suicide bomb vest at. We watched Breeders. We watch it so you don't have to. So you know what time it is. Happy Friday the 13th weekend, Moon Goons. It's Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton. With me today is my co-host, as always, my buddy, my best friend, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, how are you doing on this Friday the 13th weekend?
Friday the 13th weekend. It is Saturday the 14th. It is the time that Jason settles down, watches his Saturday morning cartoons, and just takes a load off from his night of massacres.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so what's up, guys?
Now, you would probably think we'd be doing, a Friday the 13th themed movie this week. But
right?
We're not.
Nah.
We kind of already did all the bad Friday the 13th movies, really.
And even, are they that bad?
Yeah, I mean.
They're fun.
They're fun.
God, number 5.
Yeah, that was the first one we did, which
Yeah.
I still thought was pretty bad. But, I mean, compared to a lot of these, it's not.
Did we do that one before Jason X?
That was the first, I think. Ooh. I'm not sure.
Probably did Jason in Space, Jason X.
Jason
in
X.
10.
It was either X or Friday the 13th Part 5 we did first.
Yeah.
And then we did Part 9 Goes to Hell
Yeah.
as well. Anyway, this week's movie is...
But we are not doing a Friday the 13th movie.
No. You know what? We'll get to the movie in a minute. I jumped ahead. Let's take care of our Horrible Horror March Movie Madness Tournament of
awfulness.
Awfulness.
I think that's officially it.
Our bracket update for all you guys playing along, and thank you for keeping the votes coming. It's awesome seeing all you guys voting and getting involved in this.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of...
and some people are getting heated.
Yeah.
It's getting some heat. I'll get to this when we get to it. But all right, first round, our first matchup in our epically awful 8 in the Crystal Lake bracket, we have Prom Ride taking on Scarred. And in a sweep.
A sweep. Man.
All the votes. Prom Ride is moving on. Holding strong is that Prom Ride, man.
Ooh, it's bad.
It is bad. And I will say that is so far...
Our pick.
No. We had Krampus beating out in the previous round. So,
wow.
But still, Prom Ride, man,
strong.
It's got a strong... The crap is strong with that one.
It is. Good fundamentals. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And Daft Punk is your murderer? Come on.
I know. The Daft Punk murderer. Love it. Next up in the Crystal Lake bracket, we have Swamp Ape taking on Santa Claus. This was very, very close. This came down to just double overtime. But I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's happening. But Swamp Ape is moving on. I know we leave it up to the
voters,
listeners
yeah.
and the voters and all that, but...
I just wonder if enough people have not seen Santa Claus.
I wonder if enough people have actually seen Swamp Ape, or they're just basing it off the cover art. I don't know. But man, I'm sorry. I would watch Swamp Ape 1,000 times over before I wanted to watch Santa Claus again.
Let's face it. Swamp Ape is a bad movie.
Oh, it's one of the worst.
It's a bad movie,
but it's fun bad.
It's Andy Kaufman-esque genius, I think, or it's just accidentally that.
Yeah. But either way, there's so much ridiculousness going on that it makes it fun. Well, Santa Claus was just so boring and bad. Not even tits could really save that one.
Wow. That's saying something.
Yeah. So, there you have it. Swamp Ape's moving on. I'm mind blown. Moving on to our Haddonfield bracket, we have Zombie Decadence taking on Lake Fear 2. And in a very close match.
Another close
close, but it was close. We have Lake Fear 2 beating out Zombie Decadence. Whew. Chris Samples can finally breathe easy on that one. Because I know it's he was getting heated.
He was.
When people see people voting against Zombie Decadence. He's
was.
like, what the fuck,
He's
people?
like, come on, watch it. You won't be disappointed. He sticks up for that movie.
He does.
He's got it's got a special place in that guy's heart.
Yeah, it does. Oh, man. But Lake Fear 2 still holding strong. And that one is that's our one pick that we in our original bracket. That's right where we figured it would be.
Yeah.
And then lastly, closing out Hanfield in the epically awful weight, we have X-Ray, aka Hospital Massacre, taking on Sharkensaw Women's Prison Massacre, and in a slaughter fest, just a bludgeoning,
a butchering.
We have Sharkensaw moving on, beating out X-Ray.
I'm actually surprised X-Ray went this deep.
I am too. I'm really surprised. I thought X-Ray would have lost out in. I thought we'd have lost out
the
to
Sweet 16.
Yeah, in the shitty 16.
Yes, pardon me. We're not playing by NCAA.
No.
Terminology here. It's the shitty 16. My
so
mistake.
Our Haddonfield bracket is actually still looking pretty good for us because we have Lake Fear and Sharkensaw. I think we had that going all the way, if I believe correctly,
to the finals.
Yes, it was. So that brings us to our final four. I don't really have a clever name for that. It's just the final four. And so once on Crystal Lake, we will have Prom Ride going head-to-head against Swamp Ape. Winner advances to the finals. And then the Haddonfield side, we'll have Lake Fear 2, the Swamp, taking on Sharkensaw Women's Prison Massacre. This is going to get a bloodbath, people. This is going to get hard. All four of these are worthy. Well, yeah, whatever. All four of them are worthy, could be worthy champions of this worst of the worst for this year. So look for that this week. We'll probably close out the voting this week since there's only going to be 2 votes, and then we have final. So we'll probably do all this in 1 week and announce our winner on the air. We'll announce everything, but keep in mind this week we'll do the final four and our championship round all this week.
Ooh, so this is last week, guys.
Yeah, because I don't want to delay it anymore.
Which this has already taken a long time.
Yeah. We've learned a lesson though this year. We learned from now on, like especially with the first round, the opening the round of 32.
Yeah.
We learned it's better to start doing 2 a days instead of 1 day.
Exactly.
And we'll learn a lesson next year. This will go a lot quicker. We'll streamline
a little more seamless.
Yeah. So anyway, there's the brackets. Everything's updated. Let's move into this week's movie, Breeders.
Breeders, not the 1993 sweet, awesome
97
off-spin band.
Oh, there's a band, but okay. I was thinking
the Breeders, Cannonball.
Okay.
It was Kim Daly from oh god, I'm losing my mind here. The Pixies. She broke off and made the Breeders. They made that awesome song, Cannonball.
I vaguely sounds familiar, but it's not coming to my. Anyway, this movie was released in May of 1986. It was written and directed by Tim Kincaid. Now, he has 77 credits as a director, including such fine films as Bad Girl Dormitory.
Sweet.
Which many of the cast members of this movie are also in that. And then it gets weird because it turns out he follows the line of many other directors we found on this show, especially David DiCaprio, but he follows in the strong line of gay porn directors try to turn legit,
or at least dabble in horror.
Yeah,
dip their toes into the pudding nest.
He's done such classic gay porns as In the Name of Leather, the Joe Gage Sex Files 1 through 17.
Sex Files. Ooh, if I was gay, that'd be my go-to.
Men's Room 1 through 3, and who can forget the classic Daddy Gets Into Trouble. Tim Kincaid, our director here, folks, writer and director.
Daddy Gets Into Trouble.
Our cast is really not mentioned. There's only a few people I'm going to mention, even that's a stretch. But first, I'm going to mention Frances Raines, who plays Carinza. Now, we just saw her recently because she was in The Mutilator as well. Yeah. She played Linda, the girl who gets drowned in the pool. She's in this, as well as Matt Mittler, who plays Ted in this. He too was in The Mutilator.
Right.
He was the main character, Ed Jr.
Yeah.
Like I said, many of the other cast members were also in Kincaid's Bad Girl Dormitory. Now, the only other person I'm going to mention is Ed French, who plays Dr. Ira. He's like the last character we're really introduced to in this movie, but he is not known for his acting at all.
Oh?
No. But he's had one hell of a career as a special effects and makeup artist. He's got 75 credits for makeup, including like some big name movies and some horror movies, like including Cooties, which was Rainn Wilson and Elijah Wood, which was a really good movie.
Cooties, huh?
Cooties, Terminator Salvation, Dragon Ball Evolution, Paul Blart Mall Cop, the first one, Return to Sleepaway Camp, The Midnight Meat Train, another horror movie, The Black Dahlia, and then the Wayans Brothers classic White Chicks.
Oh, sweet.
Here's one you'll like. He's also did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show.
Oh, nice. I you know what? Buffy had really good effects, good practical effects for a 90s show. It was
did.
well done.
Hellraiser Bloodline, Star Trek 6, Terminator 2, Tales from the Dark Side, Creepshow 2, the Sleepaway Camp, the original, Amityville 2, The Possession, and then the Bring It Back to Horrible Horror. He also did work on The Stuff and Chud as well.
Damn, this guy really put in the work.
Yeah, and that's just some of them. I mean, he's got a lot of other stuff, but pretty impressive resume for makeup there, but not so much on his acting side. So that's that. Let's move into the movie this week. We open, excuse me, with an angry woman getting out of a cab, yelling at her date about how he had the gall to think that a cheap steak at a second-rate restaurant was enough to get her to put out.
Dude, and right off the bat, like, the cab pulls up right at the corner. She gets out perfectly, and she's talking like this the whole time. How dare you think you could get into my pants at a second-rate Italian? I mean, just really hamming it up with the accent.
Yeah, dude.
I love. I'm like, ooh, and it seems like she's performing for the people in the cheap seats. You know, she's really loud. All of her words are very deliberate, so there's no real. It's not the way people talk.
No,
you know?
it's not.
It's very scripted feeling, and I'm like, ooh, yes.
So she slams the cab door in his face, and she just heads off. The cab pulls away. She walks down the dark, and once again, we've said this many times in many other movies, it's New York City, but completely empty streets of New York.
Not many people on the streets of New York at that time.
And we see that she's being followed by a mystery man holding a length of chain.
Yeah, like pretty thick chain.
Yeah. She ducks into an alcove armed with her mace, and she, as the man comes into view, she nearly maces what turns out to be an innocent old German man who's just out walking his tiny little dog.
Tiny dog. Pretty cute.
She apologizes, and the two of them end up like walking and talking together for a bit, and he's telling her like how the neighborhood used to be back in his day.
It's like, it's very dangerous out here. I don't know.
But back in my day, this used to be my favorite chocolate shop I'd take my wife to, and all this stuff, and then just all of a sudden the man just keels over in pain.
Horrible gastro reflux. He's got heartburn out the ass. He's probably gonna shit his pants, and he's been just grabbing his stomach.
He reaches up, grabs the woman's arm, and we see that his hand now has mutated into like a large, fleshy, bloody blob. The hand kind of melts away, and it is replaced by a
leather glove.
Yeah,
what the fuck is that?
By a black alien hand.
What's going on?
The creature rips off most of like the woman's dress, revealing a boob.
And we got titty.
And then he picks her up and he just carries her off into the darkness.
Scoops her up and she's screaming as he's running. Like so awkward. Just shuffling back and forth. And his head has now been replaced with what looks like a motorcycle helmet. You know, like you don't see you see the transformation of the hand, but you just see him run away and his head's like
bulbous,
like a motorcycle helmet.
Yeah,
like he's
huge.
wearing a helmet out into, and he runs into the darkness.
Yeah. Now we just cut to some random guy walking around with a flashlight.
Looks like a UPS delivery guy.
He finds the woman lying on the ground crying and bloody.
But
instead of helping her, he just like turns and hauls ass the other way.
He just wanders up, and of course he's got a flashlight, and he doesn't see her until he's like 5 feet on top of her.
Yeah.
And he looks down, and she's bloody. She's whimpering, and he just kind of does a double take. He's like, huh? Then just runs off. Without saying anything like, I'll get help.
Nope, just runs away.
Runs off. It's just like, shit. I don't need this. This is not how I want my day to go.
I'm on parole. They'll think I did it or something. I don't know.
You got done with this delivery, so I'm just like, man, I'm just tired and need to get out of here. I didn't see this.
So
Good night.
Yeah, now we roll the opening credits. After the credits, we're taken to Manhattan General Hospital, where we meet our two main characters, Dr. Gamble Pace, which is a woman, by the way, since the name Gamble might not lead you to that conclusion.
Right.
And Detective Deo Andriotti, who is smoking in the hospital. So once again, all the 80s.
Oh, the Reagan era.
So Deo is asking Pace how bad she is, referring to, probably the woman. And Pace tells him it's as bad as it gets, that she's going to make it, but I'm not so sure she'll want to.
Ooh, so you think, God damn, they got to be fucked up.
Yeah. So Pace then takes Dale into the woman's room. Now, before we even get to her, I do have to mention that Dale either doesn't read signs at all, or he's just such a badass bad boy that he just don't give a fuck. But because there's a door, a big red door on this woman's room that reads "No smoking, oxygen in use." But when he walks up to the woman lying in her hospital bed, he's smoking that cigarette.
He does have the wherewithal to put it out in the ashtray provided in
the room that says
room.
"No smoking."
Right.
What?
Dude.
Two and two does not equal 4 here.
Before we go on, I just have to mention Dr. Gamble's acting.
Oh, God, it's the worst.
Or lack thereof. I mean, we want to talk about the most emotionless, stone-faced woman. She's very pretty, but my God, she doesn't smile, she doesn't frown, she doesn't raise her eyebrows, she doesn't squint, she doesn't give anything.
Like her face is paralyzed.
It's like you could have a mannequin and just say the lines behind it, wiggling back and forth. It's horrible.
The Bobo the Clown doll from Sorority Slaughterhouse was more animated than she was.
Just about, man. That's a good reference, because, oh my God, she holy shit, even when she's walking the hall and they're talking earlier, she'll just stop and stare straight ahead, not looking at the police officer next to her, and just it's the worst. It's so bad.
Yeah, and the thing that makes it even better is that Dale, the detective, is pretty much the same way.
But he's a little more natural.
Not much.
A little bit, but he like moves his head and turns and kind of, you know.
He moves a bit.
She
but
doesn't use her body. She
I'm
doesn't
just talking about vocal inflection. He's just the same monotone level. He's the same way.
He's getting infected by her bad acting.
Now, Aaron ranted about her acting, which I totally agree with. But also, I got some other things I want to cover about Dr. Pace here. First of all, considering that Pace told Dale what she told Dale about this must be like, you know, oh, she's so bad. I mean,
she
first
may
of all,
not want to live.
Pace must have had a very easy time as a doctor so far, or this is like her first day on the job, because the woman who is the one we saw getting attacked in the opening barely looks touched in the hospital bed. She has a few cuts and scrapes on her face, but to say that this is as bad as it gets and that she's so deformed and scarred from her attack that the woman may rather be dead is a fucking joke.
She's got one bandage on her cheek, and her face looks like it has a little bit of road rash.
She looks like she was scratched a few times by a house cat.
Yeah.
That's about the extent of the damage to this woman.
Or maybe had a bad fall and scraped her face
like
or something.
Thorn bush or something. Yeah, like it's not bad at all.
Bad as it gets.
So, and what makes this even funnier, more ridiculous, is Dale's reaction to seeing her, because Dale's like, oh my God.
My God.
What sort of maniac would do this? Yeah, it's fucking bonkers.
It's really
so,
shitty.
It's so bad. Pace mentions that she was raped and suffered damage from an acid-like substance. The woman wakes up afraid.
When he goes, an acid-like, so he goes, LSD? Huh? Was she partying? She's like, no, like, Sulfur is burning the skin. Oh. LSD?
So the woman wakes up. Dale wants to know what happened. We learn the woman's name is Donna at this point. But Donna says she can't remember what happened, and as she tries to remember, she does say something like German man with dog, but then she just starts screaming for no reason and crying, and then just falls into a catatonic state.
Just goes blank.
Yeah.
And PTSD is a real thing.
Oh yeah,
it's a big deal, and it's been in the news quite a bit, and you know we're much more privy to it and sensitive about it now. This was 1986. They're just like, all right, here we go. Wake up! Who hurt you? Come on! She's just like, German man. I loved it, and again, they have no inflection. No, I was way more animated than they were.
Yeah, hell yeah,
way
you were. So we cut to Pace and Dale walking to the hospital talking. Now, Pace's hair is fucking huge in this movie. I mean, her hair is almost a character unto itself. It's so big and like doesn't move. It's
that
huge.
Bonkers 80s hair, which I loved. It's so big.
But here's where I had, dear God, her acting's atrocious, but we already covered that.
Oh my God.
It's the worst.
It's so plastic.
Like, we can't fairly, do it justice to how badly her acting is.
So stiff. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other, like, I can't compare it to other movies we've done, really, because it's in a class of its own.
It really is. She takes them to some computer room, and shows him a list of other women patients that have all been raped and have the same symptoms as Donna. Now, as I watched this scene, I couldn't help but think something here was off.
Oh?
And then it hit me. Dale has now magically changed clothes.
And I think he's got a different hairstyle, too.
He was wearing an entirely different outfit when he was than what he was wearing outside in the hallway room. Like, this is some grade A shitty continuity errors
Like,
here.
off the charts.
Yeah, like just 2 seconds ago in the hallway, he was wearing a white dress shirt with a brown sport coat and a black tie, I think. And now in this room, he goes from the hallway into this computer room, and now he's wearing a yellow dress shirt with a gray sport coat and like a different colored tie.
He's like, hold on. I'm going in the I'm going to go in the computer room. Need to change my outfit a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, how does that happen?
That's bad.
That is so bad.
It's not like the tie's different.
No.
Or he walked in with a cigarette and he didn't have it.
Yeah.
Or, something along those lines. His lapel might be gone or different.
Yeah, it's
an entirely
massive,
different outfit.
Yeah.
It's an entirely different outfit.
Now, in another display of epically bad acting, Pace rambles on about the other victims and that after their attacks, something else happened to their physiology, saying that all their EKG results are inhuman. So, and then that each woman has had this organic, untraceable matter found on their bodies.
You mean jizz?
And a thick black substance was found inside them. Oh, and every victim is also a virgin at the time.
Oh, alien jizz.
Alien jizz.
It's this thick black substance.
And it's so hard to sit and listen to that scene as she tries to explain
And again,
this.
she's explaining this with just the most dead face. Oh.
Now, we cut to a photography studio where a group of people are in the middle of a photo shoot. Here we meet Carinza, played by Frances Rain, who is Linda the Mutilator, and Ted, also the Mutilator. Carinza is the model here, modeling various swimwear in front of just a plain red backdrop. We also have a hairstylist and a female photographer, Gail, who looks like she could be Weird Al Yankovic's sister.
Yeah, dude, totally. I think she's got like overall. She almost looks like Six from Blossom. Anybody know Blossom? Yeah. Kudos.
This scene of Carinza modeling goes on way too long, in my opinion.
No, it doesn't go on long enough. It's great. I feel like that could be from any decade, Marshall. Any time period in history. That's something we could watch. It's 80s as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, the swimsuits are bad. The music's bad. The way she's posing is ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. I loved it. I'm like, holy shit, this is going a long time. Keep going. All right.
I mean, she's posing with balloons and in chairs and with like all sorts. It's
different outfits and just it's montage.
It's a photo montage.
It's your 80s montage.
So finally, they break for lunch. Carinza opts to stay behind while the rest go out, and so she can get in a workout while the others go out to eat for lunch. Now, I don't know what kind of workout you would call this, but I like it.
Yeah.
Her workout consists of doing a line of coke.
She's got to get ready. She's got to take her sports performance.
Yeah.
Enhancer.
So she does the line of coke, and then she strips down naked. And then she just does various kinds of stretching and calisthenics, which border on interpretive dance to very weird 80s music.
Dude, it's so funny. She's like, gotta get ready. Line of blow. All right. And she even does the nummy, which I love. And then she goes into this bizarre really lame stretching routine.
Yeah.
And at times I was thinking, oh my God, are we going to get the mythical and ever so rarely seen butthole shot?
Nope, no.
But close.
You get the 80s bush, but you don't get the butthole.
Yeah. The old butthole.
I guess her cooldown of such because it's such a hard, physically strained workout, she just lays on the floor for a while. Just lays there naked on the floor.
Kind of touching her stomach at times. And
in comes Ted, who has forgotten his wallet. Carinza covers up with a towel. Ted grabs his wallet, and he goes to leave. But as soon as he gets to the door, he falls into the door frame in pain.
With more GI problems.
Yeah. He slides down the door, screaming in pain. He rips his shirt open, and we see the skin on his chest begin to bubble up and boil, and just like it's moving around.
Something is underneath it looks like. It's a pretty good effect.
It's the best effect in this movie. And Ted sounds like he's trying to force out a large turd here while his chest continues to bubble and pulsate.
And Corinne, isn't that her name?
Carinza,
pardon me. Carinza's like right on top of her, not saying a word, just looking with amazement.
Yeah, she just stands there looking at him, but like doesn't do. She doesn't really scream for a while.
She seems more fascinated by what she's seeing than scared. She comes right up to it and just, wow. I mean, the look on her face is like when you see a science experiment that's pretty cool. You're kind of like, ooh, neat.
Yeah.
She's watching with amazement instead of like freaking out, trying to help him, maybe going to get help.
But eventually she does start backing away and she does start screaming.
Once his chest starts to explode.
Yeah. Because his chest is oozing blood and pus, and he's starting to bleed from his eyes, nose, and mouth. Now this is where Corinza just stands there screaming repeatedly, ah! She doesn't run out of the room to get help, which would have been like, just get the fuck out of that room. She just stands there screaming. Well, Ted rips his chest skin off,
which is awesome.
Corinza hides behind the photography backdrop, and
there's nowhere to hide in this place.
There isn't. It's the only place to hide behind. Like I said, she should have just ran out of the room.
Yeah.
And now we see the shadowy silhouette of an alien with this giant bulbous head moving across the room.
It looks very 1958 Fly.
Yeah. Corinza comes out from her hiding space to some dumbass. We don't know why she would do this, but she does.
Well, I felt like she was kind of like looking for her opportunity to run, which would have been so many other times.
Yeah, like before the alien showed up. So now we see one of the alien's hands, which isn't even really a hand. It looks something like a slimy anteater nose.
Or a penis trunk.
Yeah, like a penis trunk. And it's so weird.
I don't know what it is. What's he going to do with this thing?
And then two tendrils like shoot out of the anteater nose, each wrapping around one of Christina's ankles. The alien yanks her down to the floor.
And she goes zoom.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool, like the way she falls. She goes down fast. Boom.
Boom. And he ever so slowly begins to pull her towards it. She's screaming and screaming and screaming, but not really struggling or even trying to get away. She pretty much just lets it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not like kicking her legs. She's not trying to undo the tendrils wrap or even grab on it. She's just kind of just screaming.
There's a lot of screaming.
Yes. So I should have done that in the opening because there's so much screaming in this fucking movie.
So much close-ups and screams over and over again. Not like one, it's,
Yeah.
I'm getting lightheaded over here.
So now we see the alien's other hand, which looks like one of those just black, like rubber dishwashing gloves.
It looks like he's going to clean his toilet.
Yeah. It's just like a black rubber glove.
He's just wearing this rubber glove. It's his raping glove.
Yeah. As he reaches out and pulls off the towel, the alien then mounts her and rapes her. The camera switches to Corinza's POV as the alien head moves closer and closer to the camera. We see its giant fly-like eyes light up with like a dim yellow light.
You can't make out very much detail though because the background is so bright. So you can't.
I think that's
the trick. I guess that's the trick. But yeah, you just can't make out the detail.
Yeah. And now we come to a homeless woman wandering around the still empty streets of New York City in the middle of the day. And she enters some old rundown building and pulls out this crappy, dirty old doll. And then we cut away to another scene. That's it. Seriously, what the fuck was the point of that scene? Like, I just...
Dude, she looks just as lost as we are confused.
Yeah.
Also, she's like looking around like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck's with this old lady? And then we cut.
Yeah, I mean, hell, the only reason I'm even talking about this is because it's so goddamn pointless. I fail to understand why it's even in the movie in the first place. So we go to Dr. Pace on the hospital's rooftop.
Yeah.
Talking to a blonde female nurse named Alec. And just like every other movie, Alec is wearing a cliche. Thank you.
You have a hard time with that word.
White nurse's uniform, complete with that silly little white hat they wear.
Oh yeah, the little white hat. I'm so glad I didn't have to wear that when I graduated as a nurse.
I don't even remember them wearing that stuff in the 80s still, but maybe. But anyway.
So you know what's funny? Actually, our graduation ceremony, it's like the people dress up like that. They wear, like, the girls wear the classic nurse's outfit, kind of as an homage to, I guess.
I can get that for a graduation thing, like a ceremony. That makes sense, and that's kind of cool. I get it. But
and I'm like, no, thank you.
But
the men don't do it anymore, but the women do it.
But yeah, but wearing it on a daily basis, like to work, nobody does that.
Oh, but they did that back in the day.
Why
the fuck would they wear white too?
Yeah,
that's like the worst color to wear when you're a nurse. Ugh, think about
like
all the
vomit, poop, and piss and blood, and all
the great things that come out of the human body. You know, can splash on you at any moment. That's why we switched to
I
dark
think
fucking
again,
blue.
like everything white's supposed to be peaceful and happy and sterile. So yeah.
Until you see someone's barf on you.
Alec and Pace are talking about the rape victims and how Alec is afraid because she too is a virgin. During this conversation, we get shots of the alien creeping about.
And he's all gooey.
Yeah, he's very
like,
gooey.
You see his foot. It's like, oh, alien foot.
It looks like somebody just poured like WD-40 motor oil all over this thing.
Oil, like watery oil.
Yeah. So they leave, and we see the alien hand reach out and grab the door frame less than a second after Pace exits.
So was he trying to get Pace?
Yeah, this is bullshit, because there's no fucking way that she wouldn't have seen this giant alien standing next to the door, which it would have had to have been in order for it to grab the door so damn quickly after she walks through it.
Yeah, and I imagine it's got a smell. It makes noise because it's leaking all the time.
Yeah.
And it's, everything we've seen he's lumbering about. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, and was he trying to get Pace? Because there was ample opportunity.
Ample, yeah.
Because Nurse Alec goes off first.
Yeah.
Pace stays up there for a while to, I don't know, enjoy the view and look fucking dull as hell. And then she decides to go back inside.
Yeah.
She's up there by herself for a while.
At least 30 seconds or a minute or something.
Enough time to grab her.
Yeah, exactly. So now Pace, Alec, and Detective Dale are standing over Carinza as she lies in her hospital bed. Now, Carinza also has some cuts on her face and a large gauze pad taped over the left side of her, on her left cheek.
My God.
Yeah. Again, Pace and Dale ask her about what happened and if she can remember anything.
Now, she's sitting up in the chair, and the doctor gives her a shot. Like, they distinctly show her giving her an injection. What'd she give her, sodium pentothal?
Yeah, who
like
knows?
truth serum?
Yeah. So she tells us she was in the studio alone, but then he came back for his wallet. Of course, like, who's he? Who's he? And that's when Carinza springs up, grabs what I can only describe as like a chin-up bar attached to like a giant fucking surgical light while screaming, "Ted! It was Ted!"
It's such a weird shot.
And then she just freezes again. Yeah. It just like she's like just paralyzed. Like,
like she's stuck.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so weird when she reaches up and grabs that bar.
It's like, what? Why is it even there?
Or
what is the
move it up?
Like, I get the big surgical light, which you would have that in an operating room, but in a hospital room, like, I don't know. But even then, that giant fucking bar.
It's so big. So I've been in operating theaters, I've been in operating rooms, and you do have those things you move, but they move way up. You move them out. You wouldn't keep it in the same area where a patient can sit up and whack their head.
Might have well have done that. I mean, this thing is so big.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
And I just don't get that bar there.
But it made for a fantastic shot.
Oh, yeah, it did. So, goddamn, we're only 22 minutes in this movie, and fuck, is it so bad.
It's so bad.
So bad. So now we go back to the homeless woman who is now seems to be walking around in the sewers.
I'm waiting for like Leonardo
I thought
and
the same thing.
Michelangelo's skateboard, but cowabunga.
Yes, skateboard right by her. She finds herself a nice little corner to call home, and she lays out some newspaper to sit on, and then she pulls out that shitty doll we saw earlier, which she talks to like it's a real person, telling her that it's not so bad down here. Plus, there's none of the usual scumbags around. And then she begins to unpack her bags and decorate her sewer corner with a tiny little Christmas tree and a few lengths of garland.
Hey, man, you got to keep it festive.
Yes, but it's not even Christmas time. She's just a crazy homeless woman.
Hey, she's just into Christmas.
And then she starts singing to her doll. And I'm just like, seriously, what the hell is going on with this movie at this point? Like, what is happening?
I thought it was a Christmas carol, too. She was, like, humming like a Christmas carol.
I don't know what she was humming. I thought she was humming
She was humming a Christmas. I think it was Silent Night.
Anyway, we get shots of the alien lurking about in the sewers now, too. And it attacks the crazy homeless woman. And, dear God, when it does, I laughed. I laughed out loud so hard. Because the way they shoot it is ridiculous. Like, unfortunately, that you can't see what we're doing, but okay, the camera pans that we see the old woman slowly turn her head to look straight into the camera. Then the camera pans up from the alien's feet to show its whole body, and that's when the alien does this little "I'm gonna get you" movement.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks more playful than scary. I mean, I think Austin Powers did this in all of his movies when he's like flirting with like Elizabeth Hurley or something. Like, "I'm gonna get you."
Yeah.
Yeah, Fox it, man. Like, it's so ridiculous to see this rubber suit man just go. So the camera cuts to the doll on the ground as we hear the sounds of the woman kind of screaming,
struggling,
sort of, and the alien making weird, what I guess to be alien humping noises.
Oh, no,
And then we get a close up of the woman's face. She screams as blood just pours out of her mouth.
That's one thing this movie has a ton of is mouth blood.
A lot of mouth blood.
So much mouth blood.
And that's it. And we cut to Dale. He's talking with the woman who I guess is supposed to be either the magazine's editor or something. Hell, maybe it's Carinza's agent. I have no clue here, really. All I know is that Dale tells her what happened to Carinza. They end up talking about Ted, but she swears that
It couldn't have been Ted.
couldn't have been Ted. He's
Ted's
such a nice guy. Dale's not buying. He's like, "I know nice guys that do bad things, blah, blah, blah." And then she drops the bomb that Ted was gay.
There's no way it could be Ted because Ted's gay.
But she does give Dale Ted's address and information anyway, and he leaves. Oh, and by the way, Dale is also back to wearing his original suit as well.
Change back in.
Yeah, he's changed back into his... And this is, I think, the suit he wears for the rest of the movie. Like, I don't know how many days it's supposed to cover, but, like, he never changes outfits again. We jump to Alec walking through the city, which you guessed it, guys, still completely empty.
Yeah,
completely empty.
Yeah, again, she's walking home from the hospital in the morning, so I'm guessing she works night shift. I don't know. What are her shifts
knows?
like?
Maybe
I mean, nurses work 12s for a long time.
Yeah, I don't... Who knows?
So she's on her way home, and man,
I doubt it was a night because she was just on the rooftop with Dr. Pace.
That's true.
And that was the middle of the day, too.
That's true. Yeah, it's a good point.
So,
but anyway, she's going back to a nice like brown. She's like she's in a great neighborhood, like
Yeah.
New York neighborhood. New York, like any one of our listeners who lives in New York or been in New York or know anything about New York, the real estate is insane.
Yeah, it is.
It's off the charts. Like you have to pay $2,000 for like a studio. It's
for like a closet.
bonkers. So she lives in a pretty pimp place.
Well,
Maybe it was 86
sort of.
money, but yeah, I mean, she lives next to a brown, so it would be considered dynamite today.
Yeah. So she gets back to her apartment, which, the area looks nice, but her apartment is shit. It's so tiny. Where she starts to prepare dinner because she just takes a giant stew pot out of the fridge.
I
or
love
something.
it. She comes in and just opens up the fridge and think, okay, she'll get a snack.
Yeah.
She pulls out this massive.
It's like this massive.
pot.
Something you'd see like in a homeless shelter. They just brewing up like
Yeah.
gallons of soup
a
and
soup
stew.
kitchen-esque sized like pot.
Yeah, and puts it on the stove, and then she just strips down
In the kitchen.
in the kitchen and goes take a shower.
I guess there's not a lot of room.
Yeah.
We get a shower scene.
Yeah, you get more tits. And when she gets out of the shower, she gets startled by her date, whose name is, well...
It doesn't matter what your name is!
Dude, I fucking love this part. I laughed out loud. I laughed out loud so much because she walks in from taking a shower, walks in and screams, and then it pans to this really normal looking guy,
Yeah.
and he just goes, hello.
He's sitting there with a glass of wine, just sitting at the kitchen table, was like, hey.
You expect to see the creature or someone who's broken or something's fucked up, and he's just sitting there going, hello. That's what he says. Just,
yeah.
hello. Oh, God. I laughed so hard.
Yeah. They talk for a bit, but he calls her Catherine here. He calls her Catherine, but I swore Dr. Pace called her Alec. So now I have no fucking clue who this woman is. She turns her back for him for like 5 seconds to stir the pot on the stove. And when she turns back, he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
He's just dead with like 2 small puncture marks in his cheek. It looked like Dracula like just bit him on the cheek.
Right.
And then
yeah.
and he died from that.
He's just dead.
She screams and screams and screams.
Yeah, and again, the close up into her face as she,
Yeah.
Again, she's a fucking nurse. Yes, I understand scream a little bit, but you can assess. You've seen dead bodies. I mean, you'd freak out a little bit, but
I would give her.
you'd
I
get
would,
your
I would
wits
give her a nerve.
about you.
I could see her screaming. Like, if the guy who is your date just you turn around 1 second, he's fine. You turn around, he's just dead. I get that too. I'd scream because but regardless, the scream goes on forever. Now we cut back to the woman Dale was last seen talking to, And this is where I realized it's the photographer, Gail, from the photo shoot.
Yes.
She just looks so much better now than she did earlier. She doesn't,
her
she doesn't
hair
look
is-
like Weird Al anymore.
Yeah, her hair is either pulled back or tamed down a little bit.
So
She doesn't have the mustache anymore,
yeah.
or the accordion.
The accordion. And she's not wearing like the Hawaiian shirt.
right. Chuck Taylor's. I love Weird Al.
She's having a deep conversation with herself. Like she's going deep.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not even gonna try to describe it, but like she's just sitting there at her table, like just having like this deep philosophical conversation with herself, but she gets cut off by the phone ringing. Now you don't hear anybody on the other side, but she starts screaming into the phone like, "Was it you? Did you do it? You goddamn creep! Was it you?" And then she hangs up the phone, which rings again immediately.
Yeah. Like what? Why'd you cuss me out?
Yeah, and this time it's her friend Alec, who now. We see her, and it is a different woman than we saw on the rooftop. So either
Yeah.
I was wrong, or the script itself was wrong. And given the level of quality of this film, I wouldn't be surprised if they did call a character by the wrong name in this script.
I'm willing to go with that one. We need to watch it again because we need to put that on like IMDb or on the Wikipedia or something. If we found a good continuity error that hasn't already been discovered, we need to do it justice.
On that rooftop, Pesa calls her Alec, and then the date calls her Kathleen, and then the friend is Alec. It's fucking confusing, but so anyway, Gail tells new Alec that Carinza was raped and mutilated. And again, mutilated
Is a
really big stretch.
You're really pushing it there.
She barely had a few scratches on her face. Mutilated? No. Mutilated is what happens when Big Ed takes a motorboat, motorboat to your chest. That's mutilated.
That's mutilated.
Or he shoves a fish hook up through your vagina and out through your stomach and then cuts your head off.
That's mutilated.
That's mutilated. Having a cat scratch your face, not so much. So immediately after Gail hangs up the phone, the lights go out, and she pulls out a tiny little flashlight, checks her fuse box, but figures, the problem must be with the main box down in the basement.
She talks to herself a lot.
She does talk to herself.
She really does. She has no inner monologue. It's very much spoken word.
So down to the basement we go, and we see the alien following her down the stairs,
Slowly stalking, squishing along.
Here's what my train of thought. So now we're to assume that the alien, we're to assume aliens want to cut the power. But then he made it back up the stairs without being seen just to follow Gail back down the stairs. Why not just fucking hide in the dark basement and wait for her to come down? And even then, how do you know it's going to be her that comes down here? This is a big gamble. This is just retarded.
Yeah, could be.
It's dumb. It's so dumb.
Like the super. Could be an old Jewish guy coming down like, oi, gosh,
Oi,
my back. These kids, what are you doing?
So Gail makes it to the main fuse box. The alien comes out from the darkness. Gail turns to see it.
And guess what she
And
does?
again, instead of running away, which she has ample time to do,
Or moving?
she just stands there like a statue, screaming and screaming
And
screaming and
screaming.
screaming.
You know what? I think I'm going to do a Scream supercut.
Oh my god!
God damn.
If we could put a supercut of this movie with the screams, that would be pretty epic. I think
It's pretty bad.
Now we go back to the hospital where one of the orderlies, who we saw briefly earlier, brings flowers to Donna's room because he steals flowers from people who have died. He's like, they don't need them anymore, so I'll just take them and give them to these other people.
Good old Jeffrey. Good old Jeffy.
Oh, is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was like, oh, that guy's sweet. And kind of creepy.
Yeah, very kind of creepy.
dead person's flowers. You're pretty. I want you to have them.
Yeah, he is the kind of creepy. Like,
But I do love this sweet line that he has coming up.
I don't know what you're referring to, but hold on. He enters. He brings the flowers to Donna's room and notices that Donna's face is now fully healed up.
Yeah, he comes in, he goes, hi, I bought your carnations. They're really pretty. Just as pretty as you'll be when the doctor fixes you up. Maybe then you'll go get some burgers with me. And I'm like, oh, Jeffy. I don't call him Jeffrey. I just call him Jeffy because he's so adorable. But that's when he looks down and sees her face.
Fully healed. She's
Fully healed.
Like full Wolverine here, just fully healed.
And the bandages have magically disappeared too.
There's no signs of the wounds, cuts, or scars are ever there. In disbelief, he starts feeling her face in a really creepy, pervy way. Like, he's feeling up her face, which is this really weird thing to do.
I didn't mind this so much.
Really? I thought it was creepy.
I
like,
didn't think it was
why
that
are you
bad.
touching her like that?
Well, it's it's a medical miracle. Maybe he's feeling to see the sensitivity. Like,
Yeah, but
is it going to crumble? Is it broken? Is it
but
makeup?
he's not a doctor or.
Well, yeah, what is he? Is he a nurse? Or is he like an orderly?
I assume he's just an orderly because he's just there like doing shit. He's not a nurse because he's not. Maybe he's a nurse, but I assumed he was an orderly. But either way, like I thought it was really creepy. He's touching these women's faces, and he's not a doctor or anything. He's just like, ooh, let me. And there's she's asleep at this point. She's not. And so it's like, oh, it's creepy to me. So he leaves her room and goes straight into Corinza's room, where she too is now fully healed.
Again,
And
face
again,
touching.
he feels up her face too. Like, oh god, this guy needs should not be working in this environment. He's
Hands to yourself.
yeah.
That's me smacking my hand. Bad Jeffy.
We cut to a close up of Gail looking dead. By the way, bleeding from her head. Her head's like on the corner of like
Yeah.
a metal thing, like some sharp metal edge.
Yeah, she looks like she got her head bashed in the side
yeah.
of that box, and she's dead. Like, her face is completely,
It's
frozen.
bloody. Yeah, it's just frozen.
But she's like just catatonic, staring ahead. She looks fucking dead.
yeah, it's like, but then she rises up and shambles off like a fucking zombie.
Yeah, but her pants are gone. Her pants are
I'm gonna
ripped
say,
off.
Yeah,
and
as she
there's
walks away, we see
blood all over her legs.
Yeah.
Looks like it was a bad case of burritos.
yeah. Yeah, so she's pantless and bloody. We cut back to Dale having a conversation with Mrs. Moore. Turns out to be Ted's mom. She thinks Dale's there in response to her missing persons report that she filed on Ted. But Dale's like, I had no idea about that.
Right.
Didn't know. And he's there trying to get leads to find Ted because he thinks
He's a suspect.
he's a suspect.
He's one of the top
yeah.
suspects.
She informs Dale that Ted and his group of amateur hobbyist archaeology buddies or something often go down into the tunnels but under the city to dig up shit.
So, is this like a gay antiquing club?
Yeah.
Like, she never says, oh, he always stays home, but he does have this group of boys that go into the tunnels of the city. I know gay was taboo in the 80s, but you're talking New York City. You're like the one place
You're
it's
right.
not where it's not going to be taboo as much is going to be New York City. But these guys go into the tunnels, explore each other's tunnels,
Yeah, they do.
and then go antiquing,
Yeah,
I
they
guess. So, but yeah, poor Ted.
Yeah. Now, we jump to Dr. Pace in the forensic pathology lab with Dr. Ira Markham. Now, they're going over a sample of the shit they got from one of the rape victims, and Ira determines that each sample has traces of red brick dust in them, and that there's only one place to find it, and that's under the city. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit.
And that's what the Dr. Gamble says too. She's like, that can be from anywhere.
I mean, you're telling me
and
that
he even goes, they go really deep into this.
Sort of, but like you're telling me like the only place to find red brick in New York fucking city is underneath it in the tunnels in the sewer. I'm pretty goddamn sure that there's plenty of brick buildings all over New York.
Aha, but it's specific red brick dust because that's his rebuttal.
Yeah.
That's what he comes back with. No, this is a very unique red brick dust that can only be found underground. He's like, they're really trying to explain how the rationale behind
Mate,
it.
I still call bullshit, but
I do too.
You
But
know what? I was very curious about this, so that leads us to this week's horrible horror educational moment.
Oh, shit.
On red brick dust.
Great.
Now, this took me a completely different path than what I thought it was going to be used for. Wow.
Okay. Is it really interesting or is it just like something weird?
I found it pretty damn interesting.
Okay, all right.
Either way, you're going to listen to it.
I don't have a choice.
According to Voodoo, red brick dust is a powerful and magical remedy that will protect you and your home from enemies.
Huh.
It is an old New Orleans tradition to clean your front stoop with red brick dust to prevent the entrance to your home and to keep bad energy and negativity away. Locals here have been passing this tradition on for generations. It got its beginning in an abandoned brickyard on Dumaine Street in New Orleans. This was a place for voodoo queens to gather and hold rituals, but repeated police raids on the brickyard drove the practitioners to Bayou St. John and Lake
Pontchartrain?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. To hold their ceremonies. Red brick dust is famous in hoodoo and voodoo communities for its protective properties. New Orleans is a haven for hoodoo and voodoo practitioners, and you can still go into many stores and homes here and cross over a line of red brick dust. To use it, simply lay a line of dust across the doorways or entrances to your home or business. No one who wants to cause you harm can enter. If you really want to be thorough, you can run a line of red brick dust completely around your home or business. It has been used by hoodooists for centuries to scrub their front stoop in order to ward off curses, evil, and bad juju. According to adding the dust, now this is where it gets fucking weird. Adding the dust to chamber urine, ammonia, or vinegar is called reddening, and used along with bluing produces a very powerful effect with cleansing and protecting a home. To lay red brick dust around your home, you will keep those you wish to steal you or do any harm from crossing your door, coming into your property. Allegedly, evil cannot step over the line of dust. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
get up before dawn without speaking to anyone and wash your doorstep with your own urine and water.
Oh, God.
When it dries, sprinkle the dust across the doorstep to make the wash stronger. Write the name of the captain of police on paper. Burn the paper to ashes and add the ashes to your scrub water, which, remember, is urine and water.
Jesus.
And add the brick dust is and this is totally never, but just fun little fact. And red brick dust is also used in the dirt of many high-end and high-quality dirt used on baseball fields.
Huh.
So there you have your interesting fact
Wow.
on red brick dust.
That's a hoodoo, voodoo, and bad juju.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. Interesting.
That's an educational moment.
There you go,
Well,
guys.
thank you.
So back to the movie. We cut to Donna asleep in her hospital bed. The orderly comes in again, wakes her up. Donna pulls out a scalpel from under the sheets.
Where the fuck did
Exactly.
she get this
Where
scalpel?
did she get this? She's been in basically a coma this whole time, but now she has a scalpel.
And why would they have a scalpel in the room?
Exactly. There's no scalpels in hospital rooms.
doesn't make any
No, it
sense.
doesn't. She sits up naked in bed and just stabs the orderly.
Poor Jeffy is like looking at her like, whoa, and she sits up naked, and I'm thinking, of course I already saw the scalpel, so I know he's fucked.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's like, yeah! All right!
Oh yeah.
But then, whoa,
Just stabs him in the stomach, killing him.
and drags it up. She
Did
stabs
you- okay,
him,
thank you.
and then
'Cause I was
pulls
about
straight
to say
up.
I missed that. 'Cause I must have remembered. Because I was about
No.
to say I defer to Aaron on this, but I don't think you would die from a single scalpel stab. in
Dude,
the
she
stomach.
she does it right. She stabs him in the gut and then rips
Okay.
right up. So
Then I withdraw my
He's pretty
complaint on
fucked.
this one. I just saw the stab and then I saw him fall over.
he might not be dead, but he's definitely Fucksville.
All right. Regards, Donna walks out of the room, still butt-ass naked.
Ever so slowly.
And, slowly walks
Just
down
a
the hallway,
Slow saunter
In
down
this-
the hall.
trance-like state.
Right.
Now, we jump to Dr. Pace, lying in bed. She gets a phone call from Dale.
Full makeup,
Yeah.
full hair.
Hair is like
perfect, perfectly poofed and spray painted.
Yeah.
Hairsprayed to fucking death.
Yeah, it is.
Just, she looks like she's ready for a 1980s photo shoot. Fuck Carissa or whatever her name
Carissa,
is.
yeah. She gets a phone call from Dale telling her to get down to the hospital. We cut to her and Dale in the computer room. And this computer room looks more like a fucking NASA control center. There's so much goddamn background noise in this scene. It's ridiculous.
Like,
And
beep, boop, boop,
these,
beep,
yeah, these old computers, and it's like this, and then it's like the fans, like,
and like printers in the
yeah,
background going.
The old
that-
printers, like the
dot.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's so loud. It's actually hard to hear them talking. Not that it matters because you don't want to hear them talking because they're so goddamn deadpan and boring.
So boring.
So she tells Dale that all the rape victims are now gone and no longer under the care of the
Dude,
hospital.
they also apparently checked out.
yeah, they
like
checked
they're-
themselves out. They went except for Carissa.
What
She's
kind of
still there.
computer system is this?
Yeah.
This is like computer from Star Trek. Like, this is pretty this is really advanced.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, they're not under the care of the hospital anymore. They didn't check themselves out.
No, they just walked out.
It's not
they
like
should
they had
still be there.
computer chips in them when they left. They're like, oh, no longer available.
Yeah, tracking chips.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Like it's fucking bullshit. So she calls in a 24-hour watch on Carissa. Pace and Dale stand around talking about their past, which doesn't fucking matter. I don't care.
Although he does ask her out
I
on
was
a
just about
date.
to say he does ask her. He's like, "Well, how about we go out for dinner later?"
And
or
she's
something.
like, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
Look, again, no emotion, no pause, no nothing.
no
He's like,
excitement. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what you want to hear from a girl. You ask. I was like, all right.
maybe after this is all done, I can take you out to dinner sometime. Okay, yeah, sure, that sounds good, but we need to find these girls. She just completely glosses
Yeah.
right over it.
We cut to Donna walking naked through the underground tunnels, still in her trance. We jump to Alex's apartment. She gets a call from her mom. They talk for a while. And this is where we find out that Alec is a hairstylist. She was the hairstylist on the photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
While she's on the phone, she strips down, changes into a man's white dress shirt.
Dress shirt,
Yeah.
yes.
During her conversation, we see shots of some man seemingly breaking into her building as she's telling her mom how safe it is.
With a sweet leather jacket.
Yeah.
Like, she's going, Mom, it's one of the safest places in the neighborhood. Now, she's actually a decent actress.
She's not bad.
She's not bad. She's probably one of the best out of all of them because she's doing the best. But anyway, she's like, Mom, it's one of the safest places in the city. And then you see, like, it's almost comical.
Yeah, it really is.
How, like, bad guy, leather jacket, you just see these hands just reach out slowly, grab the door, and pull it back. Like, come on.
And she also mentions in this phone card that she's a virgin as well. There are so many goddamn virgins apparently in New York City now in 1986.
Dude, that must have been the place to be. Or not.
Yeah, not to be. As soon as Al gets off the phone, she gets grabbed from behind by a man who's wearing this like leather jacket, sweet, like it's like the old biker one, like all the buttons.
He's
and
just
zippers
got
on. He says to her that he doesn't want her money or like to rob her or anything like that. He just wants a good time. And that he tosses her onto the bed and pulls out a long kitchen knife, which seems like a very odd choice to me.
Yeah, it's very long, skinny.
Yeah,
almost like a bread knife without the serrations.
Yeah, I get the leather-wearing criminal carrying a knife, but I would think it would be more like a switchblade or a large folding pocket knife, something you can easily conceal. Not a long, skinny kitchen knife. I mean, that thing must be a bitch to carry around to try to conceal it somehow without stabbing yourself.
It's like a 12-inch.
Yeah.
Or longer.
It's like something you would cut like your holiday ham with or something.
Yeah,
it's huge.
But it's not like a butcher knife.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Michael Myers carving knife.
Yeah.
It's just this long, skinny knife. Now, the man tells Alec
he wants to play
Buttons. Yeah, like I say, she's wearing a white dress shirt. And so he says Buttons goes as follows. For every zipper that I unzip, you have to undo a button. So he unzips his leather jacket, takes it off.
The funniest thing is, because the guy had so many zippers on his jacket, I was just hoping he'd like unzip his pocket, and then unzip his other pocket, and then unzip his sleeve. You know? And she's like, this is going to take forever, buddy. You have so many zippers.
Yeah. So he unzips his leather jacket, takes it off, and then another odd choice. He's not wearing a shirt.
No.
So that means this guy's just walking around New York City carrying a long kitchen knife and wearing a leather jacket with no shirt on underneath in the middle. It's just a weird choice for the day to make.
It's bizarre.
It's so odd. So Alec undoes a button, and then we get a shot of the alien shadow on the wall. And so again, we saw this in Kathleen, whatever, the other blonde nurse in her apartment too. Like, these are small apartments, but yet this massive alien is somehow seemingly always able to sneak around them without being seen,
right?
Or making noises. So now also, I'm also thinking, I don't know about you, but I at one point thought that this guy they were playing it was like a rape fantasy game, like this was like her boyfriend or something. I kept thinking, she's gonna laugh. No, it's just dark. Like, this is just a straight up like criminal prowler. Just, I'm gonna rape you.
This is
scene.
it. Yeah.
And
he has a very specific taste. He likes to play buttons.
Yeah, he likes to play button. Because I kept referring to like, you got me. But no, the alien then just comes out and reaches out. And this is fucking funny as shit. He reaches out. He doesn't grab the man. He reaches out and grabs the knife out of the man's hand.
Just pulls it right, plucks it right off his hand.
And it's like, this is like fucking from like a Looney Tunes commercial. Like, the guy looks at his hand and like does like a double take. Like, you want to like the Wile E. Coyote. Like, you want to see his eyes go blink, blink.
Yeah.
Like, what? And then he slowly turns his head to the side, and then in the worst and oddest way possible, like the way he does, the alien slashes the man's face with the knife. But he's not. It's the way he does it. The motion, the way he's holding the knife looks so odd. It's so
obvious.
uncomfortable.
It goes up in front of his face, never touches him. It's like it's like swiping it in front of someone's face, and it never touches him. It just kind of swipes across his face, in front of his face, should I say. The guy grabs his face,
and blood just starts spraying out from between his fingertips. It's covering the wall.
What did he cut?
Yeah, like, there's some like massive artery I don't know about in the face.
What did he hit?
I mean, I know that there's the jugular and the femoral and these other big arteries, but in the face, like,
he covers his eyes, screaming, and blood's going everywhere. And he falls down on the girl, dead.
Yeah, he falls on top of Alec. She's screaming on the bed. The man falls on top of her. And then the alien goes for Alec as the camera zooms in on her screaming
More
face.
screaming.
More and more screaming.
Ah! God damn it. Just bitch run. One of you girls just run.
Yes.
Holy shit, they're all just frozen.
Frozen.
And all they can do is scream multiple times.
You know what this just reminded me of? We said the same thing way back in episode number 2 with
shit.
with that fucking Night of the Dead, Friday the 13th, when that zombie room, like all the victims just stood there and let the zombies, basically that were on chains, by the way, come to them.
Yes.
They were like they were chained to a wall. They could have easily gotten out of reach, but they stood there screaming as a chain of zombies came up and killed them. It's basically the same thing in this movie.
Man, I forgot about that shit.
Now we cut back to Pace and Dale. I fucked up my joke here because I forgot it was coming up. But I said I was gonna go. We cut back to Pace and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Pace and Dale's. Anyway, fuck it. I thought I fucked it up. But yeah, and that's what they're like. They're sort of like a team, like the buddy cop team or something like that. They're still in the noisy computer room, and she's telling them about the brick dust, and then. On the computer comes a list of 5 places that the dust could come from.
What?
Yeah, exactly. This is a fucking super. Why would a hospital have this information? This isn't even like. This is pre-internet. It's not like they're hooking up then Google it.
Right.
Like, why would this information be on this computer?
It wouldn't be.
This would mean somebody would have to have entered this information into
manually
into this one computer.
Right.
And then,
it's not like there's an intranet either.
No.
It's like one standalone unit.
Yes. But it comes up, so they decide that the Empire State Building is the place to go. Like, that's the one, we're going to go there.
Yeah, they're like, that place is too south. Okay, that one's a little bit to the west. That's probably not. Ooh, Empire State Building. Dead center. That's the one we go to.
Yep. Now we jump to Corinza. She's sitting up in her hospital bed. She rips and flings her robe open and just takes it off.
Get me naked.
Yep. And before getting out of bed and walking out of the room, I'm sorry, let me catch I'm summing on my notes. Before she leaves the room, she gets out of bed naked, she starts walking, and the camera like follows over, but it pans, and we see Dr. Ira just sitting in a chair watching her this whole time.
So there are such things as sitters.
Right.
You have it, but it's never a fucking doctor.
No, exactly. It wouldn't be a doctor. And I get the fact she was on 24 watch. I get that. But again, here's what I don't get. He's a doctor. I would imagine they probably aware that all the other victims have gone missing. She gets up naked, by the way, and just walks out of the room.
Catatonic state.
Catafucking-tonic, and starts walking out the hall. And he just fucking lets her go.
He's like, let's see where this goes.
Yeah, he's like, I'm curious. He just follows her.
He's wearing like a generic Pink Floyd sweatshirt.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
It's like a rip-off Pink Floyd shirt. It's supposed to be like the prism with the rainbow,
pyramid
but
prism.
It's so generic and rip. It's just like a triangle with like there's like some stripes going through it. It's not a rainbow. It's just the most generic thing.
It's like, holy shit.
It's funny. I never understood why he wouldn't try to stop her or even say anything to her. Nope, just watches her naked like a creep and just follows her down the hallway.
Oh yeah,
real creepy. So into the sewers and the tunnel she goes, just walking naked in a trance.
Cowabunga.
Still being followed by Ira.
And Splinter.
Yeah. She comes to a tunnel that has a glowing, slowly pulsing light coming from it, and she goes down it. And this is the same tunnel we saw Donna go down earlier. Back in the computer room, the computer suddenly pops up what I guess is supposed to be a map of Manhattan with all the locations of the red brick dust.
So not only...
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Along with the brand new, as a new location just comes up all of a sudden. Like we have our 5 now of 6 windows. Oh, boom, pops up all of a sudden.
Not only does it pinpoint the locations on a map for you, it also locates a brand new one.
Yeah.
Says, oh, by the way, guys, supercomputer here says there's another one, and it's right underneath the hospital.
Yeah. But I say, however, the fucking map, quote unquote, using my air quotes here, if you can even call that, looks something like you would see out of an old Atari system.
Oh, big time.
Because it's just this large red background with a black area that I guess is supposed to represent Manhattan Island, or and then there's 5 blue like asterisk marks on it, and then 1 giant yellow flashing red X in the middle, and that's all we see. And then from this, Pace figures out that this news spot is right underneath the
Yeah.
hospital. How is she supposed to figure that the fuck out? I have no idea.
Science, Marshall.
I mean,
science.
especially based on this joke of a map. Like, you don't know in reference to where you're at on that map. There's no reference there.
Obviously, you're not a doctor.
It's bullshit. It's the highest level of bullshit.
It's pretty bad.
The phone rings and it's for Dale. So the cop is now getting a phone call at the hospital. Like, why is he getting phone calls in the computer room? Like, where would they? Like, what? That makes me wonder, like, how many operators and extensions did he have to go get? The person calling have to go through to get transferred to that one computer room.
This fucking movie just cuts through all the bullshit, Marshall. It just gets right to the meat and potatoes.
This movie just don't give a fuck.
It doesn't.
It does not give a fuck.
Zero fucks to be given. They give fucks like those women would give a fuck about clothes.
Yeah.
Just throw that shit off.
And he's told that there is an assault in progress in the sub-basement of the Empire State Building.
There's an assault in
progress.
Jesus.
Like, why would you call him? Like, is he like the only cop in New York right now?
Right?
Because he's the only one we ever see. But I mean, Jesus Christ, you're telling me you have to go through a hospital operator. Please, let me transfer you here. Let me transfer you here. to find this one cop in a random computer room in a hospital to try to stop an assault already in progress. Wouldn't you just call like somebody in the car in the patrol
Like
car
a
and say,
squad car close nearby.
Yeah, say, hey, assault in progress. This is so nonsense. It's so bullshit.
God.
So he relays this information to Pace and he also found, now this is where they also fucked themselves over, because they're saying assault in progress, but then Dale says, oh, the girl is safe, and that they have it cornered, and they say, oh, it's probably some animal or something. So it's not really an assault in progress if the girl's already safe and they have the perp cornered. It would be assault over. Like, it's not in progress anymore. Like, it's already happened.
It's done.
It's done. So, again, that makes no sense. Why you'd have that information? Just say, assault in progress, get to the Empire State Building, and then hang up. Not assault in progress. Oh,
it's done.
Oh, hold on, guys. What? Oh, sorry, Dale. I just came down the pipeline. She's safe. Don't worry about it. It's like, that's basically what would have happened on that phone call.
Never mind, bro.
Never mind.
God damn it.
So, we cut to some guy now in the Empire State sub-level is fighting with the alien. Just some random dude.
Yeah.
He's just there, and he's fighting with the alien.
And he's doing okay. He's like holding his own. Yeah, this is you forgot about this scene. He's just fighting this random guy in the
basement,
and he's like kicking and punching. He's hitting him with shit, and the alien falls over. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. The guy then steps on one like the alien's arms or tentacles or something and
squishes it.
Squishes it. But the best thing about it is like when he removes his foot, the tentacle like squirts out water. Like it's just like a little stream of water go psst.
Yeah.
It comes out like a fucking
Is it supposed to be
gun.
acid?
Yeah, acid. It's just clear water that comes out of this tentacle. It's like, what? What is that supposed to be?
I forgot about this guy.
But then the man gets thrown and bashed up against a metal caging
Like
fence.
a grated door.
Yeah, it's like a fence that like a cage that you put like around maybe like the electric equipment, but you don't want anybody to touch it.
You want to take a look at it, but you don't want to. It's like a cage door. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the alien pins the man up against the fence by using the fence door. So he's like in the corner between the door and he's
pushing the door against him.
Yeah, he's pushing the door against him, and then he kills the man by smashing the metal fence door against the man so hard that his blood basically explodes and his blood sprays all over the walls.
They don't show him getting squished.
No.
They just show the wall and just a bucket of blood like splashes against it, and he falls down on his face, seemingly dead.
And you never see him again.
So I guess he got squished.
Yeah, it's like I mean, he got squished so hard that the force of the squishing made the blood I can just see it come out between like the little hexagons of the grates of the fence.
That'd have been a cool effect.
Yeah.
But no, we just got blood splash.
Yeah. So and that's right after he drops dead, Pace and Dale run in. Like immediately.
Right after, and the doctor just looks at him and is like, fuck it.
Yeah. I'm a doctor. I should try to help this guy. Nope.
I'm off the clock.
I'm off the clock.
They just look at this guy. It's like, meh.
And then they look up just in time to see the alien like run off. It's the worst. Like normally you see this like the alien would like scuttle into the darkness and get away. Not so much. This alien, he has to open a door first.
He looks back.
He looks back. He's like, oh shit, runs to a door, opens the door, which
Looks
looks
back
like he has
again.
trouble opening, by the way, because his hands are so fucking weird.
I can't see shit.
Gets through the door, and then like, kind of runs off down this hallway with the door closing behind him.
It's so comical. It's so. He's just like, uh-oh. Runs to the door, fumbles
Fidget,
with it,
fumbles.
looks back like, oh shit, they still see me. Oh god. And you can see like the outfit like falling apart. It's like piecemeal together with like leather boots that don't fit right and they're falling off, and his arms are like wiggling funny with his weird motorcycle helmet on. Oh my god.
The anteater penis nose hand or whatever it is just kind of dangling, flopping around. So, of course, they follow the alien.
Of course.
This leads them down to the tunnels. They find the tunnel with the glowing light, and they go down it. And the two of them walk down these dark, wet tunnels. Like, they're just taking a leisurely walk through a park on a nice spring
Dude,
day.
they're walking slowly and with
Calmly.
again no like she even like they even look like pan up and show the brick ceiling.
Yeah.
And she's looking at the ceiling like, well, that's some interesting architecture.
Yeah,
what the fuck is going on?
Neither of them shows any signs of being scared
Or interest.
nervous or as to what they're going to find. And it's just based on the fact that they just saw a giant black alien basically kill a man and run away. And they're just like casually strolling about like,
They're
what?
holding hands too.
No, I didn't think they're holding hands yet.
Okay, well they do hold hands.
Yeah, they
which is,
do.
again is pretty hilarious.
It is. Finally, they come to Jesus Christ. From here on out, the movie is. You thought it was insane and
Buckle
ridiculous.
up.
Now, oh my god, I love this. Where we're going. So we come to the aliens' lair, where they find all the women soaking in the aliens' weird hot tub that looks like it's just filled with alien jizz.
Dude, it's a sex cauldron.
It is.
I don't know what you call it.
I like that. The sex go. The women are like moaning and like in pleasure. Like they're reaching out their arms and like to help Corinza, who steps in frame, into the
They're, like beckoning her
into
in.
the alien love tub of cum.
Dude, it's like weird pudding.
Yeah,
cum?
it's
Just-
so.
Dude, it really looks like jizz.
Just the sight of this is so insanely ridiculous and bonkers that it's hard not to. It's like what?
So it's all the raped women. So there's five
of them in there.
plus women in there, just all just rubbing this goo
It's
all over, and they're all like in this, like on the point of orgasm
Yeah.
ecstasy as they're wiggling in this sex cauldron of goo. Holy shit!
I like the sex code. I like that. Dale and Pace go down a small set of stairs as they watch the women in the cum tub. On the ground, they spot what looks like the fleshy remains of some dead body. The camera pans up it, and we see it's actually supposed to be a dead body because we see like there's a head attached to it. Now, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the homeless woman because we do see the old crappy doll next to the body.
I'm assuming.
But
that's
however,
who it is.
the head is bald and looks mannish.
Well, it's supposed to be the.
We find out
woman.
later it's supposed to be, but at the time I was like, who the fuck is that supposed to be?
Did you really wonder who the fuck? Of course
Yeah.
it was supposed to be her. The
No,
doll's right next to it. It
Yes,
looks close
but-
enough.
Whatever. The head was bald. When I saw a bald head that looked like a man, that's why I questioned it. I was like, okay, but yeah, it's supposed to be her. All right, so Dale and Pace walk past the jizz bath. They just like ignore completely.
Yeah.
They just walk right like. I'm pretty sure I'd be paying attention. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
They have like no interest
Yeah.
in this sex nest of moaning women in pudding cum.
Which is also the
Dude.
victims and her patients.
Yes,
Like,
they're
oh,
like
what the hell?
You're like, hey guys, you need help. Snap out of it. What can we do? Like nothing. They're just like this. They just blankly
Yeah.
stare at it for a little bit,
Ne-
and
yeah.
then that's it.
Yeah,
They're
neither
just
one
like,
tries to help the women out. They don't
dude,
even,
it's so crazy.
They don't even try to talk to them, figure out what the fuck's happening. They just walk past this thing like it's old hat, everyday type of stuff.
Yeah, you know, demon sex nest.
Yeah. And then they run into Ira, who tells them that the energy coming from its nest could harm them if they get too close. He then goes on to explain everything about the aliens you want to know. That
He
it,
breaks it down.
that it drifted down to Earth as a spore, and that it reproduces itself throughout the galaxy, and that it can take on any form it wishes to accomplish its goals. He also explains that the dead woman was an experiment, but it turns out that she was diseased, and that only pure, clean, and untouched women work, so hence the virgins. So I'm guessing the homeless woman had some kind of STD or something on her.
Either that or the disease is just getting dicked.
Then Ira calls out Pace for being a virgin. So, Dr. Pace is a virgin too.
Dr. Pace everyone's a virgin.
Everybody in New York City, apparently every woman in New York City is a virgin.
Who wants a virgin? You get a virgin. You get a virgin.
Seriously, every woman in this movie is a virgin.
Yes.
Every one of them.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
That's probably the most unbelievable shit about
Yeah.
this movie.
Exactly.
Is that the coke sniffing, nude running around like model is a virgin.
Yeah. Yeah. And he tells Pace that it needs virgins to reproduce and that it needs her. Ira goes on saying that it did have an offspring with the homeless woman, but it was flawed. The offspring can't reproduce; it can only kill. And then coming out from behind Ira is a hideous, half-human, half-alien hybrid midget.
Garbage Pail Kid.
Yeah, a garbage pail kid. This thing
Picasso-esque.
is insane looking.
Dude, it's so bonkers, and it just moves it's like a kid in a costume the way it moves.
Yeah,
it's not a little person, it's definitely a child.
It could be
who's
a child.
moving.
I don't know, but okay, this thing has the body of a human, but has the giant bulbousy head of the alien along with giant fly-like eyes. Oh, and get this, it has a crazy vertical fang-lined mouth that looks like a fucking vagina filled with
Yes.
teeth that runs from its chin up between its eyes and up to the top of its forehead.
Holy shit.
This
Thing looks ridiculous.
Redonkulous,
It's so crazy, and it just runs out like, hi guys.
This reminds me.
What the fuck is going on?
Which reminds me, since you're the one who posted on Instagram, I took a picture, a still. Of
I'm
the,
going to get some.
of the alien. I was going to send you for the, but if you want to take a better one, yeah.
I'm getting them.
So this thing attacks Pace, but basically it doesn't even attack her. It like attacks her shirt.
Yeah.
like it starts biting on her shirt with its vagina mouth, but they're able to just shoot the thing with like, get away from me,
Push it back.
away. Dale pulls out his gun while Pace tries to slide.
Well, she just slowly and
Slides
casually,
away.
without any urgency, slowly just takes a few steps to the side.
Yeah, exactly. So Dale shoots the baby alien 6 times, but
Basically point blank.
range. But has
It's about as far as away I am from you.
Yeah.
And we can give we're on high
high
five.
five.
Well, that was a horrible high
High
five.
five.
All right, that's a little better. We're at high five range.
Yeah. But the bullets
right.
do absolutely nothing. No effect on the alien.
Yeah. He shoots him 5 times. Boom, 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 boom. The alien just. And this thing is maybe 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it's just standing right in front of him. No, you never see the bullet go
Probably
into
4
him.
feet if you take it to the head itself. Is probably
Yeah. And it's just standing there and he throws the gun at
wait, yeah.
him.
Ira's just standing there smirking watching this. But exactly. So what Dale next move? He throws. Yeah, since the gun shooting didn't work, he throws the gun at this
the
thing.
gun at it.
He bashes it in the head with the gun. And then he grabs the thing and he's like, okay, I'm going to choke it. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to start choking it. And that's why I got a picture of him trying to choke this thing. And when you see this side shot, it's just like this.
Damn.
Oh my, it's so comically just rubber prop. It's so ridiculous. I said, holy fucking shit, props Batman. This alien looks so fucking bad and ridiculous. It's really, truly beyond words. Watching Dale, quote unquote, fight with this rubber-headed prop is insane. But what makes it even better is that he starts to lose.
The prop
to
gets
it.
the upper
The
hand.
prop gets the upper hand, and the alien baby ends up choking him. Dale gets saved by Pace when she hits the alien baby over the head with a wooden board.
Yeah, she finds some debris and is it's so funny because she runs at it, pulls back and then goes for
Yeah,
it.
it's weird.
What is
She
she doing?
hesitates.
Faking it out?
She's deacon. but she can't even see it because his back's turned. She's such a...
It's so bad.
And then she takes the splintered end of the board and stabs the alien with it, killing it.
This kills it.
This is a fucking joke, right? I mean, is this a joke? I mean,
it just took 6
bullets.
point blank.
Yes, which didn't even hurt it. but being stabbed by an old piece of wood is what kills it.
Is it part vampire?
Fuck you, movie.
Does it get like
just fuck you?
a wooden stake through the heart?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
is happening? Well, the alien did bite one guy like Dracula on the face.
That's true.
Maybe it is part. Maybe this is a part vampire alien.
Maybe.
Maybe it is.
Huh.
It's a
He's
fly
into
vampire.
virgins? Yeah.
Ira still standing by, watching all this go down.
And he just does. He's again emotionless as well. Just
Yeah.
He's mildly amused by this.
Yeah, I'm mildly amused. He says, "Good for you, Gamble. You're going to be even more helpful. You're going to be the mother of one of Earth's new masters." And Ira calls the alien race Noah, this noble race. Paige chimes in, saying, like, how can you call them noble when all they do is rape and kill? And Ira responds saying, didn't you just kill? Would you not hesitate to do whatever you had to do to save your life? Well, that's just what they're doing. And Ira asks for her to help him, and that's when he begins to like tremble and cough and shake.
Now I gotta give this guy credit because we've seen the old German guy transform, and we've seen the guy Ted, who does a decent job. But this guy fucking goes into complete convulsions,
Body shaking.
dude. He's and it starts off real slow.
Yeah.
He's like a piece of bacon frying in a frying pan. The occasional pop, 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 into a full sizzle.
He doubles over in pain, and then when he stands back up, his face begins to bubble up like Ted's chest did, and it's like pulsing as blood comes out of his nose and mouth. As his face slowly starts to like break and rip open, Ira seems to have returned to his normal self here and tries to tell Pace how to stop the alien. And that
Go on.
Okay, and that once the women leave the cum tub, the alien will break into more aliens or some shit like that. It's really convoluted.
I had a hard time understanding what he was saying
because he's like screaming, like the way he's acting in pain and saying,
he's really difficult to understand.
yeah,
I couldn't understand.
I couldn't get it. Basically, I think I have this later in my notes, but basically comes down like there's some kind of time limit on this, like after like 48 hours or some kind of.
They need to gestate?
Gestation period, like the aliens will be birthed or something from these women, or something's going to happen. Now, again, keep in mind, during this whole horrific scene of Ira's face breaking apart, like always, Pace and Theo are just standing there cool as a cucumber.
Just looking and watching with just blank, complete, expressionless faces.
There is one brief shot of Dale looking slightly confused, but it's more like he doesn't quite understand a math formula that someone put on a blackboard. But in no way does he look even the slightest bit scared or freaked out. And the same goes for Pace, who did scream at the sight of a dead homeless woman, but now as she watches her friend and / coworker's face bubble up and break apart, she's cool as vanilla ice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, what is happening?
Ooh, and it's a good effect. It's a pretty decent practical effect.
For this time, yeah, for a low budget, it's pretty.
Now, about this practical effect, though, you see Ira, as he starts to pulsate, okay, that's one thing. But then they cut away and they cut back and his face has gotten bigger. But he's also gotten a nice clean shave.
Yeah.
His beard is completely gone.
It is. It's completely gone.
It's complete. He has a full black beard,
He
mind
does.
you.
Yes, he does.
Full black beard. And when he first starts bubbling, it's still there. Cut away to Pace looking bored.
They forgot to put beard on the prosthetics.
It's completely gone.
Like, it would have been so hard to put some crepe hair into the prosthetic as it blows.
Dude, he took a trip to Gillette City because it's clean. There is no facial hair whatsoever.
Ira begs him to stop the alien with his last words. And then his fucking head just explodes. Boom. Just explodes. And in its place is the fly-like alien head. So it's like, what? Like, trying to make sense of how this alien, like, transforms. It's really weird to think about, because it's not like the alien, because Ira says, oh, the alien can take on any form, but if it's going to take on your form, you would think it would just, like, change itself and then change itself back. But this is like, an alien was inside
goes
Ira
into him,
and then
controls him
out and
then bursts out of him. Because again, I don't understand how this alien does. Are there I was on the impression there's multiple aliens.
That's what you think. How does it get into Ted and the German man and Ira? Like, how does it get into them in the first place? I mean, this thing's easily like 6 feet tall.
Dude, the Ted one's the most confusing.
Yeah.
Because he, is during the photo shoot, he leaves, he comes back. Maybe he got infected when he was gone, but what the fuck?
Yeah, you don't know when they get infected either. They're just like,
Randomly,
when did Ira get
yeah.
infected? It's like,
Yeah.
it's just random. How does this happen? There's no explanation.
None.
But yeah, Ira's head explodes, and in its place is the alien head. Dale just so happens to find a very small,
Just laying there.
just laying there, gas can on the ground,
Full of gas.
full of gas
Mind
in an
you.
abandoned like tunnel subway system. He tosses the gas on the alien, sets it on fire with a lit match, kills the alien.
Boom, dead.
Well, that was easy.
Problem solved.
Well, like that's it. That's it. No struggle or nothing. He had more trouble with the fucking baby alien than the full-grown adult version.
Just splash a little gas on there, lit up a book of matches, and toss it on there like he's playing softball.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
So now Pace tells Dale that they have to destroy this place, and I think they mean the cum tub, but I don't know if they mean the whole fucking sewer system. Who knows? And she's suddenly become not just a doctor, but she's also an expert on New York's old subway system.
Oh, yeah, she's a historian.
She knows everything. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is the old subway tunnels and blah, blah, blah. And back in the day, this is this and this was this. And oh, look, there's the old third rail. If we could electrify it, we could do this and this and this. I'm like,
So find some cable.
Yeah, so-
find some cable to run from the third rail to the... I'm going to find the emergency phone and call them
which
and tell them...
has to have power because, if there's an emergency down there, it has to have power to the phone. So I call them.
It's
And,
all right there.
yeah, it's just perfectly
all
there.
perfectly there. Find some cable. And he goes, what? Are you serious? She goes, yeah. Okay.
Now, during all this, the women in the just are still moaning away. Some seem to be getting off on this, while others like rubbing themselves down with the alien jizz.
Others are just like, I need more. Like they're just scooping
moving
it up and
like putting it on
putting
themselves.
it on.
It's like a kid when you're having a bubble bath. You scoop up the bubbles and you put it on yourself or on your
yeah.
face to give yourself the bubble
The
beard.
bubble beard.
This is what they're doing. They're just like putting it all over them. Now,
Cum beards.
so Dale finds an old coil of cable.
He finds the cable.
It's all
Sure.
rolled up on a nice coil.
Perfect.
Pace finds an old phone box that, like I said,
Yep.
it still has power.
And it's all right
It's
there.
it works. So she tries calling for help on the phone while Dale starts he attaches the cable to like the
Third rail.
and then it starts unraveling the cable. And what we see next made me laugh out loud. And we get some shots of a few of the naked cum-covered women popping up from the cum tub, hissing in like the boo or
The
I'm gonna get you
the
pose.
Michael Jackson zombie kind of, pose,
Yeah.
the dance move.
yeah,
you
they
know?
just pop up like. they just like jump up and go, and it's like completely black background.
Completely black
It's like
background.
there's nothing behind him.
And it's like a full body shot.
Yeah.
It's like you see their full naked body covered in this goo going,
Yeah, like they're actually gonna do something. Like,
and
oh,
I'm
they're
like,
gonna
okay,
attack.
here we go.
But then that's
Nope.
it. Then the very next time you see them, they're all back bathing in the cum tub.
Getting off in the cum tub.
Yeah, it's like what,
Dude,
Why
they're just
would-
like, they get up and they're like, oh, it's cold.
yeah, back into the water.
Back into the sex cauldron.
It's like why? Why even show
What?
that? Like, okay, the women are gonna attack. They're
Here
gonna
we go.
Oh,
Now,
yeah,
we got this.
climax. Here we go.
That would make sense.
Nope. We're just gonna
Yeah.
show them going, ha, boo, gonna get you, and back into the
sex
yeah,
cauldron.
Yeah. So, Pace actually gets lucky, and the subway, like the maintenance man of the subways or something like that, picks up the phone on the other end, and
He's so fat.
he's fat.
In these overalls.
And she's like begging him to turn the power on to the section they're in. And she's like, dude, lady, shut up. And he's thinking she's like another homeless prankster or something like that. Dale grabs the phone from her and identifies himself as a cop and orders him to turn on the power system.
He says, she says, there's two of them. He goes, while one of you is checking out my credentials,
Yeah.
the other one get ready to turn on the power.
Yeah, let's break this down because I have a big problem with this. So
You have a big problem
well,
with?
one of we already covered how something what Iris says about how there's only a certain amount of time before the aliens breed or
Sure.
whatever, and they make it like it's going to happen at any moment now. That's what I think they're trying to explain or get across, but. And I guess they're trying to build a sense of danger, tension, suspense with this whole climatic scene. But this is the complete opposite of that. this ending climatic scene is so boring. I mean, we're seriously watching naked girls in an alien cum bath. Dale and Pace are just standing around on hold. They're on hold while the maintenance man calls the police station to check to see if Dale really is who he says he is. Never do any of the women start showing any signs of giving birth or that the aliens are going to come out of them or they don't try to attack Pace and Gale. There's no sense of danger here. The girls are just like having a good old time in the cum tub.
Yeah.
Dale and Pace are just, it's like they're on hold. There's like, please hold, I'll get you in a minute.
Okay.
While they check out.
Dude,
there's no suspense here.
The only thing that's missing is elevator music.
Yes. That's the only thing. It should have elevator music. Exactly. So it's the worst climactic scene ever. And then, so anyway, they turn the power back on in the section.
I guess he's a cop. Go ahead and turn it on.
Dale takes the cable, tosses it into the cum tub, which electrifies the women in a stunning display of awesome, shitty 80s special effect electricity.
The blue electricity. The classic blue electricity. Giant bolts of electricity in electric blue.
It's the same thing we saw in like Shopping Mall and everything
right.
else. All the women die, and they sink down below the cum surface.
I do love one of them. Just put your feet straight up.
Yeah, it's like the old Death of the cartoon. Like she might as well be holding a flower on her chest. And
her feet straight up in the air. I was like, that's good. I like that chick.
And then they kind of sink below the cum surface. That's it. Dale and Pace look at each other like, all right. And then they casually walk back the way they came, holding hands.
Our job here is done.
Yes. Like, all right, whatever. That's done or with. That happened.
Now I'm going to take you to a nice dinner.
Yeah. And like I said, now the love is bloomed because they're holding hands at this point. This is as they walk up the stairs and out.
They defeated the cum-drenched victims.
Yeah. God. Yeah. They were such a big threat. We cut to...
Dude, was anything a threat?
No!
Dude,
nothing in the scene was a threat!
They killed the baby monster, which was probably the most
That was the biggest threat, because the big alien they just set on fire super easy.
Rickety board? Done. Okay, here comes the monster. He explodes out of fire. A little gasoline and fire.
Yeah,
done. Sex culture monsters, sex women jumping up. They just go right... No, hold on. We're on the phone. We're going to get permission to...
Your desk going. Just hold on.
All
we got to
check.
get this...
All right. My name is... Yes. Just check with Jim. Jim knows who I am. Oh, yes, I'll hold. Ladies, just keep... Thank you. Okay.
Just rub some more cum on you. We'll be right with you.
Good. Okay, power's on. Here we go. Whoosh, whoop. Just toss that in there. Zap. And they don't even have like a dramatic death. They're like, and they fall over.
And walk away holding hands.
That's your climax.
That's it. And we cut to Dale and Pace naked in Pace's bed. Assuming like they just had sex or something.
I didn't think it'd be like that.
Yeah.
Only 2 minutes long.
Yeah. She's like, I didn't think it'd be that way. That just wasn't the way she imagined it.
I just basically said, you really sucked, pal. That's not the way I imagined it, buddy.
And she's laying on her side, and we see Dale behind her, and he's like, he kind of disappears from frame behind her back. He's like kissing on her back. And when she says, Payson says she can't get all this out of her mind, and that what Ira did say others would follow. Ira said that. And then we hear Dale from behind her say, he's right. And Dale pops up from behind her, only now Dale has turned into an alien.
Yeah.
He's
an alien fly monster.
Pace, Dr. Pace screams. Camera cuts away to an overhead shot of Pace still lying in bed. Only now she's wearing like a white slip or nightgown, and she's alone.
Completely by herself.
And she's crying as the camera does a very slow zoom out of this overhead shot of her just lying in bed crying.
With the single light on her.
Yeah. Blackout. Roll credits.
Huh?
What the fuck kind of ending was that? I mean, fuck you, Tim Kincaid.
Good God.
This is the stupidest ending. This is one of the worst endings we've ever seen.
Was this a dream?
Yeah, but was the whole thing a dream?
What happened?
Was the entire movie a dream?
What happened?
Yeah. I don't know.
What happened? Oh. It's like I felt like I got knocked out. Like you get knocked out and you wake up and you're like, whoa, what happened? I don't know what happened. You have that little amnesia there for a minute. And I just felt like, what happened? Did I just watch the shittiest horror movie ever? What happened? Holy shit.
It's ridiculous. It's beyond words bad. It's just I'm bamboozled by how bad this ending was.
Bamboozled.
All right. So anyway, Moon Goons, that's
Breeders.
That's Breeders, the 1986 Breeders. So let's move on to favorite kill.
There can be only one. Favorite kill?
The kills suck. I have. There's really most of them you don't even see. There's not many kills anyway.
Yeah.
Aaron, what you got?
I guess it'd be Ira's.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like it's a toss up between, was it Ben or whoever the helper, Ned, whatever his fucking name was, the helper photographer guy who fell down. And Ted, not Ned. Ted. It's either between Ted or Ira.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Ira because at least his head exploded.
Yeah.
Which was kind of awesome.
And you're right. That's really the only two choices we have this week, and I too agree with Ira because of the head exploding. But Ted was the best effect in the movie, but Ira's head explosion was like what, and then just replaced by the
pretty awesome.
Like the physics behind that makes zero sense. All right, so that was fast. All right, let's move on to odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it a 3.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, there is no thermometer score, and it has an 8% audience score.
Ooh.
Amazon gives it a 2.7 out of 5. Plot keywords. There are 115 plot keywords.
Wow.
Most of them were pretty boring, dull. I wrote down body horror because I've never really heard. I don't really know what body horror is supposed to be.
Huh. Body horror?
Yeah. I don't really know. Unless it means like stuff that has like because
when
the
Ted
people
was bubbling
in the head, like I guess, but like I don't.
Body horror.
Yeah, weird. And then there were lots of variations of rape in the.
Oh, this is probably one of the rapiest movies we've ever done.
And then of course, rape by monster was one of the top keywords.
Was cocaine in there?
No, I wish.
And no panties.
No, because nobody wears panties in this movie. They're all naked.
Yeah, they just that's a good point. Whenever they strip, they just, they don't have bras on. None of them wear bras.
Who was working her entire shift at the hospital who had no bra and no panties on under her short miniskirt of a nurse's uniform.
Fuck underwear.
Yeah.
Just fuck it.
This was like the 80s, not the 60s or the era of free love or 70s. So like this was like 86 and nobody is wearing bras and panties.
No one's wearing bras and panties. Just
nobody.
Who needs underwear? It's the 80s? I don't know. That's a weird one to explain away.
The only piece of trivia I found for this, and it's not even really trivia. I had to dig. There's nothing really. I just made this up myself. Well, not made up the fact, but this movie was actually remade in 1997. So they remade this thing, and believe it or not, the remake actually got a lower score on IMDb than the original.
Oh, God.
This one, the original, 3.5. The remake on IMDb, 2.8.
Oh.
And I was like, how is that possible? So, because I'm a chump, I watched the remake before I did, so I compare. I did watch it, both versions. It is awful, but I really don't know if it's worse than this one or not. It's really, really, really bad, but bad in like its own way. Like it's we might do it someday on the show, but I don't know. It's fucking awful. I won't say that. But
well, great. I look forward to it.
Yeah, that's what we have to look forward to. Unfortunately, there is no budget. I could not find the budget, so we don't get to do the budget game this week.
Bummer, because I was thinking it was produced by MGM.
No, that's what I thought. Yeah, I see the MGM. Like, holy shit, this is an MGM.
Yeah,
movie?
I was like,
it's not.
Huh.
What happened? I looked this up. I was like, there's no way MGM did this, and it's like a Wizard production company released. MGM's on because they somehow ended up with the distribution rights to this movie. They own the current copyright trademark. So when you watch on Amazon now, they added their logo to the front.
But that's so weird. But it's still the old style lion roar in the beginning, like straight from the 80s.
Yeah,
and it's still the old style. It's just rah, rah.
Yeah, but
like,
I
was like,
up.
holy shit, this is an MGM movie.
I looked this up. I can say I looked on IMDb and I looked on a production company.
Huh.
And all these different production companies I've never heard of or listened as production company. And then down there's MGM and it says the current trademark holder and like distribution or publishing or
they own the rights.
Yeah.
I find that interesting that they put their logo at the beginning of it. And they're they're old, right? It fits right in with that 86
but
style.
I think we've seen with Troma, like Troma Films who distribute poop, even though they didn't direct or produce it, they put the Troma in front of it.
Yeah, but sometimes there'll be a new, I guess it all depends on when this was released and when they got the rights.
Yeah.
because if they got the rights at the same time the movie was released, I guess it would make sense for that old style lion roar beginning.
But
'Cause
don't they still?
I haven't seen that in years. I
I
haven't
think
seen
they still do the lion roar. That's their thing. That's the trademark.
I haven't seen that.
I don't know why they
Did
wouldn't.
MGM get bought by? I don't know. Anyway,
I don't.
Whatever.
Anyway, yeah. Let's move on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
Believe it or not, there were
There's always going to be some
Yeah.
out there. It's
Nine-
very, very rare we find some without.
19% of the reviews on Amazon were 5-star, while 45% of them were 1-star.
Ooh.
So from Martin Miller, it's a hoot. Mystery Science Theater 3000 would have a field day of this movie. There are A movies, there are even B movies, but this movie wouldn't even make a good run for a C movie. The acting makes this movie the funniest movie I've ever seen in a long time. Don't rent it or buy this movie. It would be better if you could steal it. 5 stars.
There's something to that. Don't rent or buy it. No.
No, but
Just
steal it.
5 stars.
Yeah, but 5 stars. Josh Maniac writes, early 80s B movie madness. This movie is great. Female nudity, puppeteering, gore, and an alien fertilization pool filled with white slime for the nude ladies to frolic in. 5 stars. Dan the Monster Movie fan writes, weird, cool, alien, and gruesome rape and gore. This film is sleazy, cheesy, sickly, bloody, gooey, and fun, but don't let the children watch it. 5 stars. And Happy Customer writes, just simply, kick ass. 5 stars.
Kick ass.
Movie Man Kev. Boy, oh boy. Everyone's favorite gay porn director turned crappy B horror film director turned gay film director again. Tim Kincaid does not disappoint. Now, when I use the term crap for this film, I do so giving it the best, most loving connotation. I live for this trash, but if your tolerance for sleaze and utterly atrocious acting isn't high, steer clear of this one, as it most definitely is not for you. 5 stars. And maybe one of the best 5-star reviews from John Semro. Great tits. 5 stars.
They weren't even great tits.
They weren't great tits. They were
not great. I mean, tits are tits. But I mean, it's like
Yeah.
pizza. You still eat it. You still enjoy it. But
Yeah, they
they're
weren't
not great tits.
No, they were all on the lower, smaller side. But they were full. They were at least full. They were small. Anyway, the only 1-star review I wrote down is from The Goon, which is kind of funny. One of the finest pieces of American film ever. Top-notch acting, airtight plot, flawless editing. At first, I thought this was an early Spielberg work. I thought the naked women swimming in a pool of alien splooge was a classy touch. 1 star. All right, so that's the movie and other people's opinions. Let's give our final thoughts on ours. Aaron, what do you got this week as we wrap this up?
I'm gonna say so bad it's scary, but there's something about it that I recommend you watch. It's a bad movie. It's so bad. It's so bad. The acting is so bad. It's so bad. The effects are laughable at certain points, but they're good in other points. But it's a horrible movie. It's so bad. I'm usually more articulate about this stuff, but the fact that they had so many different crazy things going on, the naked women, everything going nuts. It sounds like I should like it. It sounds like it should be right in my wheelhouse, but it all just comes crumbling down with the acting. It's the acting that just completely dries you up of any. It takes me out of it. The acting was so poor. There was no remember when I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast, the girl who gets out of the cab and is like, "You don't take me to a second rate." And like, she's animated, she's giving it to him, and it's cheesy, and I'm like, all right. And then the rest of the acting is just shit.
Yeah.
And it takes me out of it. So I'm gonna say so bad it's scary, but it's worth a watch. So I just barely make so bad it's scary for me.
I'm with you 100%. So bad, scary. This movie is right up there with one of the worst we've ever done. I think this is a great early competitor for next year's tournament winner to go for a very deep run.
It'll go far.
I think it'll go very far. Definitely Final Four material. I did have a blast talking about it and making fun with you, though. I had more fun with that than watching the movie. But I kind of agree with you to the point where you say, even though it is so bad.
So bad.
it is kind of worth seeing.
Yes!
It's kind of like, it's like a car wreck. Like, you can't look, it's so bad, but you kind of need to see it to fully experience, because we can't do just how bad it is. You have to experience this for yourself to really get the full level of suckitude that this movie has.
Right.
So if you're brave, watch it. It's not that long. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a pretty short film.
So it's not a full hour and a half.
Get some friends.
Yeah, get some beer, get some friends. Be like Corinne, do a line of Coke or something for you.
Do some blow,
Do some blow.
take off your clothes and hop in your sex holder and watch this movie.
And turn this on. Oh God, yeah. So So Bad Scary for me too. That's gonna do it for this week, Moon Goons. We'll be back in another week with another horror movie. So in the meantime, guys, watch more horror movies and remember to always keep it tight.